All right. So it looks like you've made it to week two, which is exciting. You're on your way now here in the course. In week two, in preparation of continuing with this desire to learn how to live out the Christian faith, we will continue by reading chapters 6 through 9 in Foster's textbook, and then reading Mark chapters 5 through 8 in out of the gospel. And then for discussion this week, you'll have three discussions this week. You'll have your week two devotional, and then you'll have your citizenship discussion and your Christian worldview discussion. Your citizenship discussion. This is it's an exercise that will essentially ask you to find 2 to 3 people, not just people who profess Christianity, but people who to whom you believe are true biblical Christians, people who align themselves, who not only align themselves with Christianity, but and not only profess Christianity, but actually live a life by your estimation that aligns with who Christ is, and that so essentially people who by your estimation are true believers. And you're going to talk with them. You're going to ask them what it's like to live in a world where they don't feel as though they fully belong with everyone else. What is about being a follower of Christ that causes that person to not fit into the values and to the mold of this world? So essentially, the scriptures that talk about being an alien here. How do they interact in a world where they essentially are in a place that isn't truly home, so to speak? And so that's the citizenship discussion. And then the Christian worldview discussion. The concepts for this one is just basically seeing how the world works through a personal lens that's unique to your specific experiences. So your own ideologies, your own concepts and philosophical framework for the world. How does it work? You're going to be spending some time articulating what your worldview is, as well as what the Christian worldview is, or at least the commonly held worldview for Christians. And so those are going to be your discussions for the day, and then you'll have for this week, and then you'll have some submissions. You're going to have a new person exercise, and then you'll have your week two spiritual discipline journal and your week two milestones. And so the one that is a newer one is or at least that's being introduced as a new assignment, one you may not be familiar with, is the new person exercise. And you're essentially going to carefully reflect the discussion from the devotional and the questions as you prepare essentially an activity that's being provided for you. You can read through that in the week two student guide. It'll have all the information laid out there for you. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Please do not hesitate to do so. And I'm excited as we move into this second week and transition or continue to transition out of this kind of introductory to really truly trying to figure out what does it look like to live out your Christian faith. And one of the big questions that will be explored this week, as you'll see in the assignments, is really ultimately the worldview, what it means to have a Christian worldview, and what role our worldview plays in our own lives. And essentially, your worldview determines the way you view the world. It is the lens through which you view the entire world. And if you view the world through the lens of being an insider or an outsider, as someone who is a native or someone who is an alien to that world, it's going to change the way you view it. It'll change the way you interact with it, and figuring out and working through and navigating the intricacies of all that such a worldview entails will be essential for truly learning how to live out a Christian faith. So continue to lean in. Hopefully by this point you've been able to look at the assignments, kind of build out a calendar, at least start to build some some form of rhythm in your weekly schedule. I realize we all have very busy lives. Some of us have children, jobs, all those other things, and so it keeps us very busy. And learning how to establish a rhythm early on is really beneficial to striving to succeed in any coursework or endeavor that we undertake, but particularly in online education. So once again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I look forward to reading all of your submissions. Thanks.